Bang! Neevesknives. I'm Jared, and we are live on Neevesknives, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you to everybody for joining me tonight. I know it was a live one the other day with me and Cole. It was a great time. I had such a great time meeting him. I feel honored to have met him, and we're going to see each other again at Blade Show, along with a lot of you others. So that's going to be awesome. I do have an early bird pass, so I'll be getting in there early. And what is it? 8 days. 8 days from now, we'll be at Blade Show. Well, no, 8 days I'll be in Atlanta. 9 days till the start of the Blade Show. Shout out to my cousin Breeze in the house. What's up, Breeze? So you guys see the new skull in the background. I am going to talk a little bit about it in the live. I do have them linked down in the description again because I see that video's not getting as much traction. I did wind up changing the title a little bit, the thumbnail a little bit, just because I think people seeing what it was right off the bat and maybe didn't click. And, it'll probably get traction overnight, but sometimes that happens. And what it'll do is it can actually hurt you, the potential for YouTube to share it. So I'm hoping more people start clicking on it and check it out. These things are really badass. And if you use the link and you click on it and you buy something, I don't make a dime off of it. So me saying that they're awesome doesn't benefit me at all. I'm telling you guys right now, this thing is badass. And they have like RAM ones, like that are more affordable, like $250. This thing was like around, I think, $650, something like that. Remember, they gave it to me. They did give it to me. So I didn't pay for it, but I believe this one's around $650. Like I said, the RAM one's around $250. Now, to me, I honestly thought they'd be way more because when you see the detail and the work that goes into it, they're artisans from Bali. And like I said, when you see the artwork, and there's so many different designs, like I don't even know how many designs. There's so many different designs. And when you see the intricacy of the designs that they carve into these things, like, man, that took a long time. So when you think about the actual skull itself without no design and the time it's takes to put the work in and everything, to me, like they're pretty affordable. Now they do go up. Like there is some really big ones that are $1,100, $1,200. But you need a big area to have one of those. Something special like a cabin or something. But something like this, or a ram skull, or a cow skull, or something like that, to me, I think they're very affordable. And like I said in the video, watch the video if you haven't seen the video. Please watch that video. This is like a piece that just makes a room. You walk into a room and the first thing you're going to see is that piece. It's eye-catching, it's appealing, and it just makes you want to ask questions. It makes you want to look at it. You got to walk up to it. You got to stare at it. And I think that's awesome. That's why I love that I got it right there, because now during the lives, I can shout it out. I can talk about it. I am thankful for them sending it. So, anytime somebody asks, I will shout them out about it. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen the video, go and watch that video. I put a lot of work into it. So I would appreciate if you guys did check it out. There's Cole right there. Tri-State EDC back home in Cincinnati. Gotta say, it's more fun being there than watching. Yeah, man. I can't wait till Blade Show. We're going to have such a good time. And again, like I was just saying, man, me and Cole had such a good time. It was awesome meeting up with him. Great dude. Hysterical. Like, I love meeting up, with people like Cole, because I feel like I don't stop laughing. I feel like from the time we meet up to the end, like it's just nonstop, laughing. You get your gut hurting, that gut hurting type of laughter. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And I need it. It's almost therapeutic in itself, so I do appreciate Cole for coming through and hanging out with me. It was such a good time. And shout out to Cole's channel, Tri-State EDC. Go and follow his content. He's such a funny dude and such great content. He actually has a tag video hopefully coming up soon. We'll see how that goes. See if he winds up doing it or not. We do have a new knife we're going to check out. I actually bought it for Kara. Now, this has been out for a while, so this is nothing new, but I've always wanted to get it for her, and it's the Spyderco Chicago. I figure, it suits, it suits, but it is a tiny little sucker. But that was the point, was that it was Chicago legal. I think at the time when it first came out, I'm not positive, but I think we had maybe like a 2-inch knife law or something. I'm not positive, but I know every time I've ever checked, it's been 3 inches. So in the city, and that's counting downtown. Once you're out of the city, it's different. But when you're downtown in the city, it's I think still a 3-inch or less law or restriction, whatever. Maybe it's changed now. I don't know. But either way, when this came out and was called the Chicago, they, made this legal for Chicago, and that's why it's called the Chicago. It is a little tiny little blade, but it's badass. BD1N steel. I have no problem with BD1N, especially for the price that they sell it for. They never, charge too much for it, and it's a good quality mid-grade steel. There's nothing wrong with it. Not the best steel in the world, not the worst, and that's why it sits right happy in the mid-grade area. Now, this is a liner lock. It did not come centered, not even a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. Forget about it, right? A little bit more of a slow roller. However, I can reverse flick it. It is a little stiff, but it is a liner lock on washers, so it'll break in, right? It'll break in. But you can get an absolute 4-finger grip on this little blade. So I think it's pretty badass. Pretty dope. And we're going to actually talk a little bit about some Spyderco steels here in a second. And possibly some other company steels. And yeah, I just reverse flicked it left-handed. So yeah, it's not bad to reverse flick. And you got perfect access to the hole. Like I said, it is It is a little bit stiff, but it's breaking in. Just subscribe to try. Thanks, Colton. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, definitely watch his content for sure. Whoops, I carry 3.5 knives every day. Hey, I do the same thing, man. I do the same thing. I don't tell. I just say what they say. I'm not saying do what I do, or not necessarily saying that that's what I do. I'm just saying what they say. I've never paid attention, to be honest. I've never paid attention. The only thing I've ever really paid attention to is like OTF shit and like auto stuff, because, and maybe it wouldn't work, but I've always felt like if something happened, I could talk my way out of length. Can you talk your way out of an auto? Maybe not. And I never cared in the past, like before I was a felon or anything like that. I never gave a fuck. I carried whatever. But I was also carrying firearms and everything else. But then once I became a felon, then it was a little different. So, but yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, like I said, it's going to be up to the officer, and I think the situation too. If you're in a bad situation and you're the dickhead, it might lead to, a charge. I think it's only a misdemeanor, but I don't know. I have no idea. You got to check your local knife laws. Don't listen to me. However, if you're the good dude in the situation and it's something easy going, every time a cop has gotten me with a knife, they've always just handed it back to me after they let me go. So I've never had an issue with a knife. Not saying I won't in the future, but I never have. I've definitely had my knives on me when I've been arrested and, pulled over or detained, and they've always just gave it back. I did have a buddy though that got his knife stolen. He got into a fight, got arrested, and he had a pretty cool knife on him. And when he was going to get released the next day, they gave him back all his stuff except for his knife. And he's like, "Hey man, where's my knife?" And they were like, "What knife?" I had them do that to me with gold before. So cheers to everybody. But yeah, they did that to me. They robbed me for I had a ring. I had a few pieces of gold on me, gold jewelry. and I know I had it too because I got transferred. I was already locked up, but only for like a few days or something. And I was getting transferred from one location to another. And in the process of getting, you know, re-signed into another jail, they took my shit. And when I went to leave, you know, at the end of everything, when I wound up getting out, I got my leather coat, I got everything, and the shit was gone. And I actually had a piece in my pocket. This was what's crazy. They took the pieces that I had put in, so like that I had said that I had, and they must have just rewrote it or whatever, because on the paper it didn't even show that I had it. And then I had an extra piece in my pocket that I just didn't say nothing about because it was just in my coat, like I didn't really care, but that was gone too. So they had literally went through my shit, found the shit that I didn't even write on the paper, and took the stuff from the paper. But at the time, like when I was getting out, it was like I seen it, I bitched for like 2 seconds, and I was like, fuck it, man. I'm getting out. Like I don't even care. Like I'm not willing to sit here and debate and fight with you over this shit when I'm getting to leave now, you know. It's like you smell the freedom. I'm like 5 feet away from freedom. Is it worth it, or should I just go? Like I'm just leaving. Fuck this. Yikes. That's freaking tiny. There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. The winds blew up, her bow dipped down. Oh, blow my... Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, you guys. Thanks, Cue Ball. Definitely hit that like button. I do appreciate it, guys. It does help me with the algorithm so much, man. Yeah. What's up, John? Shout out to John Evans. What's up, brother? Shout out to the tribe. So, I wanted to talk. Okay, so here I got it in my pocket. Actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about Seki City, Japan. Right? Come on. So you guys know, Seki City, Japan. Spyderco has a factory over there, and they have Spydercos getting made over there. Right? I don't exactly know all the details on how it works. Like if there's just a factory over there doing OEM work, or if they actually own a factory over there. Maybe you guys do. If you guys know, please let me know down in the comments, because I'd love to know. But I'm curious because I love Spyderco's USA heat treat. Now, their Taiwan heat treat is also phenomenal, right? So I'm curious, like if it came down to it, and it was between the USA, the Taiwan, and the Japanese line, which one would be superior? Would it be basically the same because they're running the same protocol across the board? I would guess that they're running the same protocol. I would just guess, but maybe not. Now, Japan does a hell of a job with just about everything they do. Most people know this, that they put their heart and soul in just about everything. And actually, Cole was even telling me about, because he's been to Japan, and he was telling me about their streets and their buildings, and talking about how clean it is, and just like how you could be in a major city and it's like the cleanest thing you've ever seen. Like they devote so much hard work into everything. And I've always known that. And that's why, like with the Rockstead knives and things like that, like, you know, I really like the thought of them, because I know like the precision and the hard work and labor that they'll put into it. And they take a lot of pride and honor in that. And I respect that massively, because anybody who takes pride in their hard work, I don't care what it is, what type of work it is. I don't care at all. It could be cleaning cracks. I don't care. If you put a lot of devotion into it, man, I got so much respect for that. Like if you're gonna be a garbage man, be the best garbage man. You guys know I've always like said that, right? Like I've always talked about that. Like whatever job you're doing, show up and try to be the hardest worker, try to be the best, and try to make sure that you are outworking everybody. And the thought of an entire country taking honor in that, I love that. So I know that they do good work. And now this is the Spyderco Delica. For those of you that don't know, it has copper scales. I actually won this from Titty Patina. Shout out to Titty Patina. She patinas copper with her titties, and you can follow her on Instagram, and I believe she has a YouTube channel as well. But this is 20 CV. So this one wasn't exclusive, I think. 20 CV and the copper scales. Now the copper scales makes this knife just feel like a whole nother knife. I've held a few delicas and none of them have felt like this. This one, it feels like a premium delica, like a high-end delica. Like the difference between holding my Micarta liner lock and a titanium frame lock. Like it really does. And even the action, the spring is just perfection. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Now, yeah, there's some play, of course, but I've never felt a delica that there wasn't play in. It's just the nature of the back lock. It doesn't mean it's weaker. It's just the way the back lock is. So a little bit of up and down. I can muscle some up and down. I can muscle some side to side. I don't even care. I don't care at all. This blade shape is amazing. I love this blade shape. I know I say this a lot about like, oh, that's like one of my favorite blade shapes. This blade shape is so good. You probably can't tell, but if you look at the tip, it peaks down like a little beak. So it goes down, and then right here, it kind of does like a sheep's foot little thing right there. It's going to be hard to see, but it does. And it works so good for just everything. The blade shape, the grind, the delica really is a badass knife. The only reason why I don't recommend it more, because I totally would if it wasn't a backlock. I know backlocks are super strong and all that stuff. You know, they're just kind of old fashioned, outdated. I know a lot of people love them, but a lot of people don't. And I've always, personally for me, I've always kind of shied away from them. Like if you gave me 10 knives and one of them was a backlock, it'd probably be the last one I would pick out of all the knives. It's one of the reasons why I haven't bought a lot of cold steels. I've only recently bought a couple cold steels. I'm just not a huge backlock guy. I'm just not. I know they're really strong. I know they're very reliable. I know. But I like action. You know, I just do. Now, you can get a good backlock and break it in and get amazing action like this. I actually like fidgeting with this. I love fidgeting with this. It's a different type of fidget and I like it. But most backlocks don't have that. You know, most backlocks, it's you know, not as satisfying as this one. But anyways, the delica is just such a good knife, man. It's such a good knife. I know most of you know it, and I was late on the delica. I was very late. I watched Nick Shabazz talk about it and pull it out and size comparisons and everybody else in the YouTube knife sphere. And I was the last one. I was like, man, fuck that delica. I really was. Like, I seriously, I was like, man, fuck a delica. Who wants a delica? That's the way I was. Seriously. I watched everybody rave about it. And I was like, care about a delica. Then I got one. I was like, oh yeah, okay. Because perfect size. It really is a perfect size. I thought it was so much smaller, I think, but it is a really good size. So slicey, perfect blade shape, just functionally as a tool. That's where it is. As a tool, the delica is a heavy hitter. Totally a heavy hitter. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't sell it, put it that way. Yeah, there's Tri-State's link. Also, check out Blades and Fades as well. He's in the house. Shout out to Sean, Blades and Fades EDC, or Blades and Fades, not EDC. The Native Chief is a fire backlock. There's a bunch of good fire backlocks, like even the Police, another great one. You gotta like backlocks. If you like backlocks, you do. And in that case, there's a plethora. There's a whole table full of amazing backlocks. But you have to like backlocks, you know. And I've just always been the person that said, I'll take a liner lock, or I'll take a frame lock, or any other lock. But you know, I guess after a while, you've tried everything, you've been through a lot, then you're just like, you know what, maybe I should try a couple of these others. You know, I'm the guy that wants that in my collection. Like if I don't have any fat carbon, well, let me get some fat carbon. If I don't have any micarta, well, now I need a knife in micarta. I don't know, 20 CV, gotta have some of that. By the way, I recently shout out to Knife Sergeant. I don't see him in the house, but if he does, he usually shows up eventually. Knife Sergeant, I just recently bought a knife from him. Oh, Lefty EDC's in the house. What's up, Lefty? I'm with you, but the Native 5 and S90V is fire. Changed my mind. And you know, that's the way I am. Like, like it takes a lot for me to change my mind on like something like that, like a backlock, because you know what it is? Boring. That's what it is. I like a little bit of flair, right? Like, I don't mind a knife looking simple. I love a knife looking good, looking simple. It doesn't have to look extravagant or anything. But a backlock, to me, it seems like your grandpa, you know? Like, it's like, is your grandpa cool? Fuck yeah, he is. I mean, but he has to be pretty damn cool to want to bring him to the party. You know what I mean? Not saying you wouldn't want to bring your grandpa to a party. You might, right? He might be the coolest grandpa alive, but most grandpas you don't want to bring to the party. You know what I mean? But some of them you do. Don't get me wrong. Some of them you do. I guarantee my grandpa was the one you'd want to bring to a party. But what was I saying for that? Oh yeah, Knife Sergeant. Knife Sergeant. I just recently bought, and I finally got one. I've been trying to get one for so long. I finally got me a Spyderco in some crew wear. Shout out to Knife Sergeant for selling me Spyderco PM2 in crew wear. Now I know there's one for sale right now, right? I can link one, and I was gonna buy one if he didn't sell me his. So he's actually got a different one with some aluminum scales that have like this badass pattern on it. Now I've seen those scales out there a little bit, usually with bright colors. The one I'm getting doesn't have the bright colors, which I kind of wish it did. I kind of wish it had that bright orange. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, just look it up. The Spyderco PM2 with the aluminum scales, I'm sure it'll pop up, but it's got like a crazy pattern in it, and it just looks badass. They have a bright purple one, a bright orange one. This one's the black one, which is cool. I'm still happy with it. I'm wondering if there's a way I can get it colored. Hey y'all, walking but listening. Awesome, not a problem. Oh yeah, shout out to Mike Emler. I do have one of his shirts on. I actually bought a couple more because the other one I had, it was a little small. This one's perfectly fit. But yeah, shout out to Mike Emler. He's not feeling too good. Hopefully he'll be back in action. Oh, he's actually been posting, but he's all fucked up. He just got out of the hospital. So go give him some love, give him a follow, hit the like button for him. I know he'd appreciate it. He's struggling right now, but he's trying to still put out content. And yeah, I told him, man, just worry about your health, man, because it's not good to ignore your health for the work or for the channel or whatever. The most important part is your health. Has anyone tried the RGT titanium scales for the 20.5? They are incredible. I have the original GOAT titanium scales. So, and I love them, man. I love them. So shout out to Original GOAT. I do have a discount code and an affiliate link if you guys ever want to get them. The sea snake. Yes, Mike did the sea snake. I actually have it right here. Or I thought I did. Yeah, the sea snake's right here on my shirt, but I thought I had it sitting right here. I literally just had it. Oh, here it is. So, yes. The sea snake. Badass little knife. I do like this little guy. Awesome little Warney. Perfect little utility blade. Now, speaking of that, I do have this little self-defense knife. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't get into that shit, but a lot of you guys do, right? So this is pretty cool. Shout out to Steel City. I just did a video on this. I'm sure you guys seen it, but shout out to Steel City. Go and follow his Instagram. But this goes and clips right onto your jeans. It's a ulti clip, and it has a little a little G10 handle for the palm, and it's thick, so it's something that you're not going to get pulled out of your hand because it's nice and thick, holding a golf ball, right? And this is it's like a claw, so you can fuck some shit up. Anything you snag this into, it's just going to tear, right? You know, like if it was an arm or something, you're going to go right to the bone and just tear it up. So, you know, and that's the point of it. But, you know, even as just like a little blade, like I said in my video, you totally could use it as a little blade, but you're going to want to keep it sharp. And there's Mike. Oh, Mike. Should have told you already. I meant to let you know. I was supposed to let you know. Somebody's going to be contacting you. This guy, I told him to contact you. Steel City, watch for him. He's going to be contacting you on Instagram. So he wants to send you a knife to check out. So watch for, he asked me for if I knew any people that might want to also check it out. And I said, you know, Mike's actually worked with a little bit of in self-defense with blades and stuff like that. So it'd probably be right up his alley. So yeah, watch for that. But yeah, well, Alex says, Jared, do you need a touch of gray on your rib? You think I need more? You think I need more than this? Are you kidding me? See what you guys do to me? Oh, look, here's Mike Emler. Yes, thank you, Breeze. There's the link to Mike Emler. Definitely go and follow his channel. Talk more. Talk more about my knife. Okay, we can do that. So, but yeah, I actually recommended your knife the other day to my Uber. So my Uber was asking me, I don't know how he got into about me doing knives or, you know, talking about knives, but, he was, a guy, he was a firearms guy and he was an Uber driver and he talked about wanting a blade, you know, for self-defense, you know, because he does Ubers and he said he's always on the south side and shit like that. So he wanted something, you know, just in case. And, you know, and I told him, I said, you know, a blade's going to be worth more than just, you know, self-defense against a human. You know, the beautiful thing is you can do car accidents, seatbelt things, so many different things. And if you get a certain blade, you might, you know, have a window breaker, stuff like that. You should just have a regular window breaker. But I was just talking to him about you know, there's a lot more to a knife than just, you know, for a human attacker. And that's the beauty of it. And if he's carrying his pistol already, it goes hand in hand, right? Whatever a pistol can do, the knife can do. And anyway, so he asked me, he's like, well, do you have a knife you'd recommend? You know, and I recommended a couple brands, but then I said, well, what I'd really recommend, you know, if it's strictly going to be for like self-defense, I said, man, you want something to go like right in your belt buckle, kind of like we were talking about with this, right? Right by your belt, because then it's right there in the area where nobody can stop you from grabbing. And I said, check out the Artisan Sea Snake. I said, it is a neck knife. So you can have it on your neck, right? And you can just get to it right here. But you can also get an Alti-clip or some type of, you know, buckle, whether it's a, what's it called? What the hell is that thing called? Damn it, Bob Terzola designed it. The Tech Lock. The Tech Lock. You know, you can get something, right? An Alti-clip, Tech Lock, whatever, and then hook it right by your belt. I said, this would be perfect, you know. So, but I did recommend it to him because I did, you know, you don't want to scare somebody off that's thinking about getting a knife. You don't want to be like, hey, man, check out the Spyderco Yojimbo, you know, and it's like $200. They're like, what? You know, but I did tell him to check out some Spydercos too. So, but yeah, watch out for that, Steel City, contacting you, Mike. Knife hobby tip: buy 3 budget knives, giveaway, sell 2, keep your favorite, don't hoard them. It's too expensive. I'm in over 6 grand so far in 2022. I know the feeling, brother. Especially at the end of the year, I got to do taxes. So I get to find out exactly what I'm in. Yeah, it's a write-off, but you know, it's not like you write off the whole knife. You just, you know, you just save on the taxes, you know, because I have the channel and everything. But fuck, man, I spend a lot of money. But anyways, 20 CV from Seki City, Japan. I think they do a good job with it. One, I think Spyderco does a good job, across the board. And I think they're possibly the most heat treated knife we've had tested right now is Spyderco's. And I do think that from the time that the heat treating testing started, which they were doing good then, there was only a few out of, I don't even know how many they tested. There was only a few that was under the HRC that they said their knives were at, right? And they always are at the optimal range. There was a couple that was a little softer, but most of them were all in the range that they said or above, which is crazy. Most companies are never going to be above. So that's awesome. But this little guy, man, it has held an edge so good. It does. I need to do an edge now on it. I need to resharpen it, but it's held it really, really well. A lot better than most 20 CV that I ever get to try. Now, 20 CV is an American steel. Um, this one's done in Japan, though, so they obviously shipped the 20 CV over there. Then they worked on it and did it. But like I said, I don't know if Spyderco just has a factory over there or if it's another factory just doing their knives. I'm not sure. Who knows? Maybe you guys do. I have an appointment this Friday to see what the neurologist says. Well, good luck on that, man. Good luck. Who saw the Timascus handles 3V80 20.5 for Blade Show? Who's seen the new Demko knife? That's what I'm talking about. Hold on a second. Let me just pull it up so I can show you guys. I'm probably going to get one because there's only so many knives like that. It's like, I know, like, it's like, man, I know I want that. And I'm talking about for Blade Show. Like when you go to Blade Show, like, what are the knives that's just like guaranteed, like, oh man, when I get there, I got to get that. There's only a few of them that I can say that about. And there's a couple on my mind right now. I'm not going to tell you guys because I don't want you guys trying to beat me to the booth to get it. But there's a couple I have in mind that I want to get. But this is definitely one of them that I'm looking at right now. This is from Andrew Demko. It is a new one. So this would be more of like a mid-tech right now because they're not in a production batch yet. This is the sample one. It's got a little shark's foot blade. It looks like a hollow, but it's hard to tell. But I love the fat carbon. It's got the shark lock. Let me go over to this one. Here's a couple more in different types of fat carbon. I'd call this the USA fat carbon, the red, white, and blue one. The clips look cool, though. I like the look of the clip. It's not just blah, like the 20.5 and the 80-20. It's kind of a shitty looking clip. Well, they're right there. Look at the clip next to those clips if he shows it. It just, those clips look so much more cleaner than that clip. So, but yeah, I definitely would like to get one of those. Hey, Mike! Thank you, man. Thank you for the 10 bones. Gotta run, brother. I have to finish editing a video, get it uploaded, and set up for the live feed. Stop by when you're done. Awesome, man. Definitely will. And if you can, man, play my video I just posted up in the background. my skull bliss. Check out those skulls, man. These skulls are awesome, man. Check it out. You guys see that shit? These skulls are badass. I mean, who doesn't want? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I guess some people might not like that stuff, but to me, man, I think that's badass. Who the hell wouldn't want a skull on their wall? Especially with skulls carved into it. That's even more badass. Yeah, it does look like a hollow. It does look like a hollow. I didn't see if he said anything about it. Maybe he did, but I think they're in Magna Cut though. So that's badass too. A baby shark. Yeah, baby shark. It's just a little baby shark. I love that 80-22. Absolutely love the ratios. Yeah, and I like that he did it in fat carbon too. Now, the question is there a production version coming that will be just like that? Is it going to be done in Taiwan again? Is that or is he just gonna just continue to do those the way he is? I don't know. I'm curious. Kara looked so thrilled today modeling that skull. Yes, she was. She was so thrilled. We actually planned that out for like a week. And we actually had a lot more clips than that. Like, you know, you got to think every time you see a clip or something, there's 15, 20 others just like it. It's just that was the better one, or the one that I grabbed out of the bunch or whatever. It's like, kind of like when you do an Instagram post, right? When you do an Instagram post, maybe not you guys, but a lot of people, they take 100 pictures or 30 pictures or whatever, and then pick the one that looks the best, the one that has the right angle, the one the light hit it right, the one that's focused right, the one that's not blurry. It's just like that with editing. You know, you have multiple clips. Sometimes like my B-roll, I just erase it if it don't work, because I don't want to have to transfer it over. But yeah, I had a bunch of clips set up for from the past week, because I've had this for like over a week, maybe 2 weeks. So, you know, I've had some of the videos, just like I got some other videos coming on some other stuff, some EDC boots and stuff. So I had a boot company send me some, and then I have some that I bought in order to do a video. So we'll see how it goes. Now, you guys recently seen me, maybe you guys seen it, maybe you guys didn't, but I also bought this little Spyderco pen, UK legal. This thing's badass. I mean, it is a slip joint. I don't like slip joints, but I like this little guy. It's super slicey, great blade shape. It is very clicky. It's sometimes, even though like I'd rather have a locking knife, the sound of it, it's kind of like a fidget toy and a blade in one. I mean, I guess that's the way all knives are for me, but there's something satisfying about the clicks in this thing, because there's the half stop and you have the hole. Since you have the hole, it's easy to roll it. It's got a cool sound. I can almost slap it shut. But this thing's pretty cool too. And it's a great size. I bet you it's the same size as the Delica, or close to it. Yeah, exact same size as the Delica. Just a little bit broader of a blade. So, non-locking knives are fun to fidget with. Yeah, I agree. And and I have to admit, some backlocks are too, like the Delica, especially with copper scales, because the copper scales is so heavy, you know. Jared treats Instagram like a teenager girl. No, I treat it like a business. And if my Instagram looks like shit, then companies and people won't take me serious. If you go back, like when I first started, you can see the transition of me learning, but trust me, man, it was not my stylish shit. Like, I used to tell Kara, like, it didn't matter. Like, I didn't give a fuck. Like, I used to post crazy shit. But then after a while, I realized the difference, me looking at a professional page versus mine. And I was like, damn, man, I need to up my game. But if you're going to take anything serious, you got to do it right. It's kind of like with anything. If you're going to be a model, right? Let's say if you're a model, you don't want your page full of shit pictures, right? If you're going to be a car guy, you don't want all your car pictures on your page to look like, a bunch of trash. So I just treat it like a business, and I want it to be intriguing when people see it. I want it to be very professional. I want people to want to click. And you know what? You guys fucking suck at Instagram. Because I'll tell you what, man, and I'm just talking shit, guys, so don't take offense to it. But there's so many times I go on you guys' Instagram, and it's like, damn it, why didn't you wipe your damn lens off before you took that picture? It's like you took a picture through a thumbprint. Like, literally. It's like you took your camera and then took a picture. You can always tell when somebody's got a thumbprint over their lens. anytime somebody takes a picture that knows any better, they always wipe their lens. Always wipe your lens is the first thing you do before you ever take a picture. But so many people don't know that or don't do it. And they're literally taking pictures and it looks like a foggy mess. And it's like, damn, that picture would look so good if you just didn't have a thumbprint over it or whatever. Like so many things. And I can't help but think like that's one of the reasons why I started doing a thing a while back where I was going to have people send me in their EDC pictures and I was going to do videos on them. One of the reasons why I stopped was because 90% of the pictures I was getting were shit. Like, and I'm not talking shit about you guys. Like, and that's why I just didn't say anything. Cause it was like, I'm not going to sit there and tell people their pictures look like shit. I just won't do this type of video anymore. But because if I do a video, if your picture looks like shit and I have to put it on my video, the clarity changes a little bit. So it's already not going to be perfect just because it's transferring over or whatever, I don't know what that's called, but you need it to be perfect. You need it to be crystal clear so that by the time I get it and put it on my video, it still looks really good. But when it's already crappy from the start, it's going to look like crap in my video. But I get it, man. Like it's a lot of people don't give a shit that much. I know I suck at Instagram. I just said that. Hey, as long as you know it. I sucked forever, man. Like really bad. And I've learned a lot over the past couple of years on lighting, on this, on that. And it is a lot though. It is a lot to know. And when you already know it, you think some of the things are somewhat common sense. I guess you don't think they're common sense, but with little things you think they're common sense, like wiping the lens off, lighting, things like that. You think those are, but like all the other things like the angles and, doesn't matter. But it winds up becoming fun though. Like I enjoy taking pictures now. I enjoy photography. And trust me, that's weird. 5 years ago, Jared would slap me right now for saying that. 100%. 5 years ago, Jared would kick me right in the nuts right now for saying something like that. You like doing photography? What? But I do. I enjoy it because I enjoy taking my time and getting that nice crisp shot, with the cool background or the cool colors and it just looking so good for my page. And because I know like it looks good for my page, and even if a professional would critique it and say it's not that great, to me it is, so. Yo, Jared, have you heard of Homer Zoo Knives? I bought one and the parrot is a decent model. I don't know. No, I haven't heard of them. Zoo Knives? Homer Zoo Knives. Is he on Instagram? Homer. Oh, here it is. Oh, wow. These are going to be expensive, ain't they? Homer Zoo Knives. Let's show everybody. Homer Zoo Knives. This is interesting. No, I've never seen these ever. I'm surprised I haven't seen them. Wow. I mean, it looks kind of goofy, but cool at the same time. Oh, wow. That's bigger than I thought it was going to be. Okay, there's different sizes. I got it. I didn't mean to click off. No, those are cool. Which one did you get? I can't see the chat right now, but I'll check in a second. No, that's badass. Or these are badass. I've never heard of this guy, never seen these. I've never even seen somebody post one of these. So is he new? Let me look at his page. So he's got 2,000. So he's somewhat new. Excuse me. Somewhat new. I can tell by his posts and following. He's got 599 posts though. So he's been posting for a while with 2,100 followers. I'm wondering what he's doing wrong with 599 posts. I'm guessing. Let me look. I'm just gonna look really quick. Let's scroll down really quick. We're gonna take a look and see what he's doing wrong. Did he put any tag? Okay, he put a couple tags, but he only put 4 tags, and they're all his own stuff. So he should have tagged a couple other things so that his pictures end up in other stuff. Like EDC community, stuff like that. Nothing with knife in it though, because Instagram has flagged anything with knife in it, so you won't be able to. It won't go nowhere. But doing like best EDC 2022, things like that. You know, EDC community, EDC blades, stuff like that. Hashtag that stuff so that it winds up in those feeds, so that other people get to see it when they go through those feeds. That's just one thing you could do. Um, but anyways, no, I've never heard of them, and I think it's pretty cool. I'm interested for sure. Pretty badass. Let's check out his page over here really quick. If you, I don't know if it'll. I'm just gonna look at how much one of these are really quick. So, so you got the parrot. Here's a parrot. I don't see any prices. So these must all be going to the show maybe or something. I don't see any prices. How much did you pay for yours? I'm going to click this off. How much did you pay for yours, Justin? You got the PVD tie handles and tumbled blade. How much did it run you? My lens has cracks in it. Oh man, I've been there. Fuck. So I don't dare wipe it before taking a picture. Fingerprints are the least of my problems right now. Hey, I hear you, man. This is the first phone. I haven't broke my screen yet. I've broke literally. That's my biggest problem with phones. I shatter every damn screen. I actually have a little tiny crack. We're not going to talk about that one, but yeah, I'm a screen cracker too. I just am. I've gotten so aggravated at phones one time. I was driving down the road, literally driving like on a main road. And there was trees, you know, like as you're passing. My phone pissed me off so bad. This was a few years ago. Pissed me off so bad. I pulled over and somebody was with me like, what are you doing? Pulled over on the side of the road. And I'm just so mad. I pulled over, picked a tree, pulled over and just fucking wham right into a tree. Just shattered it right there and left it. Fuck that phone. I was so mad at that phone. I was happy too. Like it actually made me happy. Like afterwards, like I had a smile after that. Like I got my get backs. The thing was so bad. I hated that phone. Instagram flags everything with knife in it. Yes. Crap. I was away for a long time. Glad you mentioned it. Yeah, it's weird, man. Stupid, but yeah, they're like, if you like, put it this way, if you tag knife community or something, then click on it and go to it, you'll see that it says on the top, like just go back and click on it, you'll see. Unless if they opened it back up now, but for the past year you haven't been able to go to those hashtags. I'm a knuckle cracker. $400, huh? I bought mine for $400, I think, at a shop in Nashville. Okay. That doesn't sound too bad for a custom. No, not bad at all. Pretty cool. Nice. Good for you, man. That's not too bad at all. Feels so good. Yeah, it felt so good. Felt so good. Did you just call yourself a cracker? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So here I don't know why I pulled these out, but I figured I'd just pull them out just to kind of talk shit with them really quick. The Artisan, Ariane, the large, and the mini. Awesome little knife. I know these were really popular, so I know a lot of you guys do have them, but I don't think I give it as much praise as it should get. This is an awesome knife. It really is. Now mine has, well, my big one has no lock bar access, but I could easily do that myself. I could easily chamfer that down, but the large is look how smooth this thing is. You can hear the bearings on my large one a little bit when I disengage it, but I don't even care. It's a badass knife, really well done. And then the little one is also badass. Now, this one, they actually chamfered the lock bar access. They gave you lock bar access, so that's cool. Nice and smooth. Full 4-finger grip still. fantastic blade shape. Such a good little blade shape. The geometry is decent, not bad at all. This one has S35. Both of them have S35, I believe. Yeah, this one has S35 too. Shane is here. Oh, what's up, Shane? Hopefully he's feeling better. Everybody's been in the dumps. I know, man. I'm hoping people start feeling better. We got a show to get to soon, guys. You guys need to start taking your damn vitamins. No, I'm just joking. But no, man, it sucks to get fucked up right before Blade Show. You know, or right before anything. You know, it's kind of, that's just the way it happened, you know. You'll be planning something for a year, and then right before, just life will hit you. Sucks. But I do hope you guys start feeling better. What was I going to talk about? There was something else. Oh, I was going to talk about this little micro knife. I think I talked about it just for a second the other day. But Kara bought this little guy. I don't even know the name of it, or I forget the name of it. It's just a little pocket razor. They do have a premium version in titanium. This is the little liner lock version. This is something, again, it's like a little fidget toy for me. Now, I cut myself with this fucker right here. It was actually pretty bad at first, but it's been a little while. But I went to reverse flick it just like that. And when I went to open it, the blade caught me right there, and it just continued to open right into my skin. Got me pretty good, but it's just so tiny. Once you get it, though, like I'm trying to do it up in the air like this right now, but you can't. Once you get it down, it's pretty easy, and the reach around is really easy with it. But it's stiff. It's not like really smooth or anything, but it is very snappy once you get it down. And like I said, it's just a little pocket razor. Now, it's kind of weird it being a front flipper being so tiny, but you can slow roll it. So that, I guess, is a benefit because you can just roll it open. But for like big hands, the top flipper is not going to be great unless if you do the reach around. But Kara likes it. It's just a little blade, it's a straight blade too. So you can get up nice and tight to that edge if you really wanted to. It's all right, you know. I guess for anybody who has tiny pockets, and that's why she got it, because some of her pockets, this is probably too big for, but that was my lefty, so you can do a reach around with it. Liner lock access is okay. Like I said, they have a premium version. I'm not sure how that one is. Gray back spacer. It's pretty cool. It's just a little micro knife, though. And here's the Chicago again, just so you can see how tiny it is. This is tiny. Now, this is micro. Kara bought a necklace. I should have grabbed it. Kara bought a necklace that actually has a real slip joint on it. It's a tiny little slip joint, and it's sharp. It's a real little slip joint. It's crazy. Smallest knife ever. We just hit 74 in Indiana, straight into Cincinnati. We're both zombies after our travel. Get some rest. Get some rest. Guys, they took another 1,000 subs from me. Not took. I shouldn't say it like that. They cleaned up my account again. So I passed Nick Shabazz again. Not saying that was a goal or anything, but I passed him again, got to 150, and they took and I was like at 150,000.6. They took another 1,000 from me. So I went back down to it was actually over 1,000. I went down to 149.1 or something like that. So it's the bots. So YouTube is just cleaning house, cleaning the bots. Ed, thank you, man. Thank you for the 5 bones. That That little one is the Best Tech Tulip. The Best Tech Tulip. That makes sense. That's a perfect name for it. I just bought a couple of cheap Amazon knives, so dinky, but so cool at the same time. You know, like I said, Kara got a necklace one. I mean, it's literally just like, it's like this big, but it's a real slip joint for a necklace. It's crazy. But thank you again, Ed. I do appreciate it. And what I meant earlier, Ed, when I said to use the link for the skull thing, I meant it just because, you know, so that if you do get one, you know, I don't benefit from it in any, but it'll at least make it look good to them that, you know, it was worth, the channel at least did decent with, you know, with them sending it. But thank you again for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it stinks. I get excited and think I'm progressing and a handful of bot accounts get closed and I slide back. Yeah, it always happens. So I was saying it earlier. So I think that what happens is like, say when you hit 1,000, right? They take some away before you hit 1,000. So they'll just, you know, like right before you get to 1,000, or as soon as you get over 1,000, that's when they'll take some away. Now, the next time they do it, it'll be like 5 or 10,000. Then the next time they do it, they won't do it for a while after that till like 50,000. Then after that, it'll be 100,000. And then now mine's 150,000. So it's like almost making it impossible for me to pass 150,000. They just keep taking, like, they probably took obviously all the bots that were following my channel, or at least that they could recognize, and got me down to they took 2,000 basically from me in a couple days. So, but it's okay. I mean, I'll be back at 150 really, really soon. I'm getting a lot of followers each month. So very blessed that the channel is still like going as fast as it is. It's just mind blowing that I'm still getting the amount of subs I am right now. Um, but as you guys know, I've said it before, subs does not equal revenue. So it doesn't matter how many subs I get. It's about the views. My views are very low right now. So right now, like, I'm taking a huge hit on, like, you know, on income and stuff like that while the subs are going up. But it's just the way it works, which is perfectly fine. But I think a lot of people, they think that. They think like that every sub you get, like, as if you get money for subs. You don't get money for subs. So it doesn't matter. I could have 10 million subs and not make more than somebody with 1,000 subs. So I'm 99.9% sure I'll get one of them RAM heads, and I'll use your link when I do. Awesome. Yeah, dude. I don't want to say I regret it, because I don't regret whatsoever. But man, I really, you know how it is. Like you think, you like, say 2 knives, right? You have 2 knives and you want them both, and you get the one, and then you think like, man, I should have just got the other one. I don't have that thought. Like, I love this, but man, I really want that RAM one. I think it would just look so good on the shelf, and the RAM is nice, compact. This thing's a beast, which I love it. Love it. But you can get the same design. So I could have got the RAM one with the skulls on it, or the white RAM with the black horns. There's so many different versions, but eventually I will get one of those RAM ones for sure. I'll just have to put it in a different room. Have this one in one room and that one in another room. It's just too badass not to get, man. And you can get the post with that one. I think you can get the post with any of them. So with the RAM one, they do have a wall mount you can get. They also have a pole. So you can just have it sitting in a room, like just upright, you know, or wherever. So it's basically just like floating, kind of. You can get that, or you can just take them and set them on a shelf. This one, you can't really set on a shelf. You could, but it'd have to be a big fucking shelf to do it. But the RAM one just sets right on the shelf. It's perfect for it. So I've noticed the summer months things slow down. Always. Always. People are out. People are out. People are out getting her done. Of course. Yeah. Yep. Summer months are always like that. Certain times of the year are always slow. Always. It'll always be that way. Well, I don't know, always be that way, but it's just always been that way. And yeah, it just is what it is. And there's always waves. There's always, you know, and sometimes it's best to save certain things for certain times. For anybody who has a channel, like if you have some, I'm not saying don't always try to put out really, really, really good content. But there's certain styles and certain kinds of videos that you might want to save for when things are going up a little bit, and it'll kick off even harder. Shane says, did you guys know you can support your favorite channel by letting their playlist run while you're asleep? Shane, that's a brilliant idea. That's a brilliant idea. And if you guys don't know, I do have an entire playlist full of videos from sharpening content, top tens. I do need to separate some videos because I have them mixed up. Like I have my fast fives mixed in with my knife reviews. I do need to separate them, but yeah, great idea, Shane. You guys should definitely try that. And thank you, Shane. I appreciate, I know what you were doing there. I appreciate it, bud. Yeah, it's basically brand new, and I got, wait, what? Yeah, it's basically brand new, and I got tracking within hours and show up 2 days later. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about. I wasn't in that conversation. He is nice to talk to. Was when we chatted a few times and on the phone last year. Let's talk video topics for this channel after Blade Show. I want to see what Demko is up to with all the new revenue from mass marketing, the 80/20.5, and other topic suggestions for Neeves. Yeah, I mean, everybody's trying to make a buck, so you see what he did, right? And I'm not saying that was bad, so I'm not saying like you see what he did. I'm not saying that. I'm saying obviously he needed to fund this new project that he's trying to do. And, everybody's out to make money. You can't blame them. People paid for it happily. So I personally wish the heat treat was a little bit better on the OS 10. But, it is what it is. If people don't buy it, the price will go down. I guarantee like that same knife, if nobody would have bought it, you'd have seen the price dramatically drop a week later if it just wouldn't have left the shelf. But, that's how things are marketed, though, is based on whether or not we buy it. So you don't have to buy it. It doesn't matter if they can put right now, somebody can start selling a delica for $1,000. And it's up to the person that pays for it, whether or not they buy it or not. That's why I never get mad at it. I never get mad at prices too much. I used to, but not no more, because the way I look at it is I don't have to fucking buy it. So why am I mad that they charged it? Right? If somebody else wanted it and was willing to pay that, okay, I'm not. So you'd wake me up every 10 minutes with bang, Neeves knives, bang, Neeves knives, bang, Neeves knives. Yeah, I would. But you can just turn the volume down a little bit. You'll trust me, man. It's actually therapeutic. Studies have proven this. Studies have proved, that's why I started doing the bang Neeves knives. I found out that, studies and statistics had proven that it was therapeutic for the mind. It actually puts you in a deeper sleep. And it does something to you. I heard that when you wake up in the morning, you work harder. Your life means more to you. You're a better husband. Like, it's crazy. So I would definitely do it. Just maybe tune it down just a little bit. Don't have it on 10. Put it on like 4, 3, 4, something like that. I'm still horny for the 80/20. Been wanting one for years. Yeah, the 80/20 is a beast. I will say, though, it's a beast, right? It's a beast. So it's kind of like an 80/10 with a shark lock. So maybe not. It's a little bit smaller than that, but it's basically that, though. So I would love to see him do, like, I love his custom ones where he did like the spear points with the hollows. That would be sick to get, because I seen some of the custom 80/20s he did. Like I said, spear points. That's why I did the spear point with the hollows, because I seen his custom version and I just was like, oh, I want that so bad. But yeah, I would love to get the full size version from him with a hollow ground spear point blade. Oh, that'd be so bad. It's full titanium. Ooh, that'd be so badass. AD22. Please elaborate. 22 is my lucky number. Oh, you didn't see it? We already showed it. Here, I'll show it again. I'll show it again. AD 20.2, right? Huh. So it's a new knife from Demko. He's got it in fat carbon. They're gonna. I think they're first hitting the scenes at Blade Show in 8 days, 9 days. Here, we'll just show this one. It's a little faster. Looks like some really good quality fat carbon fiber. Or decent quality. You know, looks like some good shit. I can't tell. It appears to be a short hollow grind. I can't tell, but that's what it looks like to me. Smaller knife. Don't know the size, but you can tell it's not a big knife. 4 fingers. So it appears to be about the size of a delica. Give or take. Some people were saying they didn't like the size of the hole. I kind of like it. I kind of like the size of that hole. Looks like you can easily Spidey flick it. Hey, I don't know if it helps anyone, but I got his full name and address to help with proof. I want to publicize it because I ain't cool with doxing. Huh. I don't know who you're talking about. I go to sleep with Jared on my phone and I wake up wanting to sharpen my knives. I heard that can happen too. But I heard that was an unintentional, side effect. So it's just something that happens, Nothing wrong with that though. Nothing wrong with wanting your knives to be incredibly sharp. Whew. Let's feel that. Let's see what that's like. Yes, it's a used piece of paper. You guys always give me shit for cutting non-used pieces of paper. But that's some sharp shit right there, boy. All push cuts. Push cut, push cut, push cut, push cut. Man, that's sharp. Woo! That's an edge that if you cut yourself with that edge, it's going to the bone. Like, I laid back the angle to 15 degrees per side. So the angle, and it's not the thinnest behind the edge. So when you get a knife that's really not that thin behind the edge and you lay back the angle, the teeth at the apex are just so big, it holds a significant amount of bite. Like, and I sometimes like that. Like, I love thin geometry. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But what's even better, and I really mean this because, like I said, I love thin geometry. But what I think can even be better is when the thinness behind the edge is not super thin, but the blade stock thickness and taper and geometry is really good. Like the Spyderco knives or the Sebenza, right? Because it gives you the ability to lay back that angle and have a nice big edge bevel. And the teeth at the very apex, they're so big that that's where you can have a 15-degree edge bevel and you just touch that bevel and it's just like peeling skin. It has so much bite. Now, something that's micro thin behind the edge, yeah, it's very thin. It's very, very thin, very, very slicey, and it's damn near sharp, even if it's dull. But it doesn't have that feeling of when you touch the edge that you just feel that bite. I mean, it can, but it's different. It's different. I like to sub, then unsub to Mike Emler just to screw with his mind. That's hilarious. Emler, the less we see and hear you, the more we like you, brother. I just looked at my analytics for the first time since I got back from the hospital. I got almost 100 subs while I was gone. That was just Breeze resubbing. I'm just joking. That's awesome, Mike. Good for you. That's badass. I lost 1,000 subs in 10 minutes. I literally, man, I went to bed like, oh, I passed Nick Shabazz. I was partying, doing backflips, sending everybody messages, screenshots. Then I woke up the next day and checked it, and just over 140. So I know he was like ahead of me. So probably still is. So maybe tomorrow. If they don't take another 1,000 from me, because that's in 2 days they took 2,000 subs. So, but I'd rather not have them fucking subs anyways because they're bots. So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because the reason why it's a good thing, and for anybody who doesn't know, them deleting those bots will help you with the algorithm. Why? How does that help you with the algorithm, right? The reason why is because your percentage of things will go up, because like if you have so many subs and you're not getting good percentages, or like with how many people that have the bell hit versus how many click it versus how many subs you have versus how many people watch, all those things, it'll actually help you because more actual people will be watching your content. Thank you for this, dude. Really awesome. Wifey here complaining, Kara, where is Kara? So I guess more live streams with Kara. That'll definitely be happening. She's relaxing right now, but that will definitely be happening. What do I got? What the hell did I say? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read my notes. Oh, there's no Bang Gang live this Sunday. I'm not going to have time. It's the day before I leave. I was planning on doing one before I left, but I'm backed up with shit, and I'm going to be struggling when I leave. Like this whole week, like I'm going to be busting my ass. I might even skip a couple days of putting up content just to finish shit up. So, if I do anything, I'll just maybe do a quick giveaway or something, but I don't even think I'll have time for that. So just so you guys know, no Bang Gang live this Sunday. I do apologize, but as soon as I get backstage, they're done. We'll be getting her done. Maybe even pick up something for a giveaway or something. Jared, did you see Metal Complex's new short? Poor Rockstead with a broken tip. He broke a tip? Did he really? No, he didn't break a tip, did he? Rockstead, that's difficult to do, man. The Rockstead's got thick tips. I don't see a Rockstead get. I seen him jamming it in wood, but I didn't see it break. I might not have watched the whole thing. Hopefully he didn't though, man. That sucks if he did, but I've jammed. I mean, dude, the tips are so thick in the Rocksteads. I just can't imagine anybody breaking one. They're robust. Like they're made to be stuck in stuff and like twisted around. Did it really break? Yup, it did. What? Fucking around, man. Fucking around. Trying to use your knives like Neevesknives and get you got. Oh, he did break it. Oh man. Oh, that sucks for him, man. I feel bad for him. I can feel his pain. But hey, he did it for the gram, or no, he did it for the shorts. But that sucks. I think they'll fix it for him if he sends it all the way to Japan. Which it's going to be expensive. Maybe not though. Maybe not too bad. I'm pretty sure they'll fix it for him though. No charge. They have a good. I've heard. They have the warranty. I've thought about sending mine in just to get it resharpened. with their style sharpening. So hopefully they wouldn't put another bevel on it. They would just zero grind it again. But I've heard from somebody else that they actually just do a new sharpening, that they actually sharpen it with an edge bevel. But their edges are insanity. So I wouldn't even mind that. I bought a Goblin and it was so little. Now there's a Goblin 2.0. My luck. Yeah, you talking about the Goblin XL? Yeah, the Goblin XL is a beast. That thing's massive. I actually have one. That's a big fucking knife. Mike Emler's got it. The little one is so tiny, and then the big one's so big. They're completely different. Supposedly there's gonna be a mid-sized one, a Goblin MIDI coming. I don't know when, but supposedly that's gonna happen. I just sent you an Insta message with the link. It's at the end. My comment was you're sending it to Japan, right? Oh man. All right, I'll check it out. I did see it, but I must have clicked off before it broke. I didn't see the tip break, man. That it must be very tiny, like a tiny chip. Like, cause you can't. I don't know. I didn't wash it, but it must be a tiny chip. I mean, those are really hard, but this is the thing though. Normally, right? Normally, the geometry has a lot to do with the toughness, right? You can have a tough steel with thinner geometry because the toughness is there for the steel. Now, you can have somewhat of a fragile steel with thick geometry. Like, think of M390, right? M390 is not necessarily a weak steel, but it's not tough. It is not a tough steel. But in many cases, especially with hard use knives, with companies using it as a hard use steel, using that steel in a hard use application, they just make thick geometry. So then you don't have to worry about the blade snapping or anything because it's so fucking thick. It's still steel. But I wouldn't think that it would snap because the Rocksteads have thick geometry. They really do. It wasn't tiny. Damn. Oh, Luke. Shout out to Luke Cole. Yes, I did, man. And I actually wanted to show everybody. Luke Cole made me this. And he put a lot of work into this. Me and Kara were sitting here staring at all the little details, like the acorns. And I'll just show you guys. This is so badass. Luke, you're awesome, man. Thank you. Check this shit out. This is leather. Leather. He signed it on the back. I could strap on this. Full grain leather. Badass. Let's take a look at this. Look at all that detail he did. And you can tell this is all done by hand. And I mean that as a compliment. This is a lot of hard work. Look at that. It's really deep too. Like, you can feel all of that. He did such a good job with this. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it, man. Me and Kara were already thinking about, like, man, we need to get this thing framed up. So we plan on putting a frame around it and putting it somewhere. It is so badass. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. How in the effing fuck does it even do that? It's awesome. Don't stop on it. Frame. Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna. I'm not gonna strap on it. No. I got plenty of leather. No, I'm gonna frame it for sure. No, he did such a good job with it. It's amazing. What the hell? I don't know what I wrote here. I wrote it so fast, I'm trying to read it, but whatever, fuck it. We're just gonna swing with it. Kirk with the 5 bones. Thank you, man. What's your thoughts about stropping with bare leather without any compound? You can do it, but the reason why it's not going to be very beneficial, no, you can do it. Don't get me wrong, you can do it. But the reason why it's not that beneficial is because the stropping, the beauty of stropping comes from the abrasive. So you put an abrasive on there, which is it's like microscopic stone. So when you sharpen, you use a stone. The stone has the abrasive from the stone. Well, stropping compound is just that put into a powdered form or a liquid form or whatever. And it's put across the leather, which is a soft surface that can hold the abrasive on the surface of it, right? So when you drag your edge across it, it's being able to slide over that surface while the abrasives get caught and scrape against the apex or the edge bevel, chipping off little microscopic pieces of metal at the apex. So without that, you're not chipping anything. Can you line your edge up? Can you maybe, if you have a rolled edge, could you fix it? Yeah, you could fix a rolled edge, but you're not going to bring bite back, at least not to any, significant, not in any significant way. So can you do it? Yes, but it's almost a waste of time in a way, unless if you're just fixing a rolled edge or something like that. Yes, you can do it, but you're not going to get the benefits out of stropping that you would if you have an abrasive. So it's kind of like if you asked me about sharpening on a 5,000 grit stone. I would say, no, you're not doing anything. You're just polishing nothing, right? I would tell you get a coarse stone so that you can actually do some work. Same thing, kind of, it's just too fine. It's too soft. It's too, too fluffy. You need something abrasive on that soft surface to smear against the edge so that it chips away microscopically at the apex, making teeth, basically. Some people, I used to do where I had an abrasive. So I would do 2 abrasives and then finish on plain leather. And it was okay because I'd already used 2 abrasives. Now, if you're going to use it for burr removal, you could do that. Like say if you sharpened and you've deburred, so 95% of the burr's gone, but you're just cleaning it up a little bit, you could use plain leather for that because you're just revealing a little bit of the apex, cleaning off a little bit of the burr. That'll work, but it worked better if you had an abrasive on there. So I guess it depends on what your purpose is. If you're trying to maintain an edge, I would say make sure you have an abrasive. If you're trying to deburr, you totally could off of plain leather, but it'd be better if you had an abrasive. If you're trying to bring bite back and you're trying to tune your edge up, you definitely want an abrasive. If you see where I'm going with this. But I do appreciate the donation, Kirk. Thank you, man. Jared, how do you feel about VG10 on a heavy use work? Started a new job helping with renovation and been using the Indela that I got in a package deal for a few extra bucks. So VG10, there's nothing wrong with it for that. It is really good. So where its best application would be is in a chef knife. In a chef knife, thin geometry, is really stainless, things like that. So in hard use steel, it still do really good. It's plenty tough steel. So yeah, I just would say it's not going to be like what you want for edge retention if you're wanting something long lasting. But thing is though, is that the delica is a really, or the Indela, the delica, the Endura are all fantastic knives for use. So fantastic knife. It's not a hard use knife at all, but it's a fantastic knife. So heavy use work. So I'm guessing you're saying heavy cutting, right? So heavy use for cutting. Yeah, fantastic, but you're not going to get the edge retention. So if you want to get the edge retention, get a K390 one, 20 CV one. Now you're talking. Now you will have something that can last you throughout the week, through cutting, if you're not hitting staples and shit. But you're going to have to tune it up often. It's a steel that it's more of a simple steel. So yes, it's a good steel, great quality steel, but that's why I say it's great for kitchen knives, because it's more of a simpler steel. But yeah, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Just maintain it. You know, when you get home, strop it. You're going to have to sharpen it more often. You're going to have to strop it more often, and you'll be fine. But if you do want something that is going to keep that bite for a very long time and hold that edge for a very long time, as long as you're not cutting abrasive, like very abrasive stuff, get something with more of try to find something with a little bit better steel, like I said, 20 CV, something with just, you know, a higher grade steel. Just don't, you know, expect it to stay sharp if you're cutting through tile. You know what I mean? Luke Cole with the 5 bones. Thank you, man. Glad you like it. It takes a while to do one like that. Pfft, I can imagine, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I can tell you put a lot of work into that. So I do appreciate it. And yeah, no, you can just see that. Like, that's a lot of work, a lot of time and effort. And I applaud you, man. That's some artistry right there. So you did a great job. That's stuff. That's something you could sell. So you might want to capitalize on your craft, brother. What are your goals for Blade Show? Hope you're planning to film boots for the channel. I can't make this one. Daughter graduates high school June 2nd. Yes, I am planning on filming. I don't know how much filming I'm going to do, but I do plan on filming some boots. I plan on taking one day. I'm going to bring the gear. I'm going to bring the setup. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to film as much as I possibly can, at least one day, maybe 1.5. I don't want to film the entire time because I also want to enjoy myself. This is my first time ever getting to go. So I don't know which day I'll film, but I want to try to get content out the fastest. So, but I'm definitely going to be filming for sure. How do you strop your recurves? Get a thin piece of strop or just use the corner. So here, let me pull back out the leather. This isn't what I'm stropping on, but you take the corner. So if you have leather, like, you know, your strip of leather, you can take and use the corner like this. Or you can just take and get leather from Michael's or order some leather, buy some leather. You can get plain leather from Beavercraft and just cut yourself a strip. And then you have a half-inch strip. A half-inch strip will do just about any recurve. But you can also, like I said, just use the corner. That's how I do most of it, but I have strips too. Why don't they make circular saw blades for a badass steel chair? Circular saw blades. You know, they have circular saw blades with what is it called? What the hell is it called? What was it, carbide tip blades or whatever? They got some pretty crazy saw blades, but and you guys see it, they're really expensive. Kind of like, think about the blades, the diamond blades that they have for concrete saws. Those fuckers are really expensive. They're like $300 for a blade. So they got them. They're just pricey, but you'd think that they would maybe make some 20 CV blades, you know, for like saw blades and shit. But it's just the reason why they don't is because those type of blades get wrecked incredibly fast. Meaning, like, what you're cutting is going to make whatever you have dull right away. So what they need is those big teeth. That's why they have the big teeth, and then they put, you know, like the carbides or whatever the hell they put, I can't think of what it's called, at the end of the blades to make it to where it cuts for longer, because that's a high wear resistant steel, like an extremely high wear resistant steel. A lot of our steels for blades they use for different tools though, like D2, that's a tool steel. There's a lot of steels that are tool steels that originally came from making bits and things like that. Or like M390. M390 was originally for the plastics industry. It was for blades for cutting plastic. That's where it originally came from. So it's a really good steel, especially, you know, in plastics. So that's where it came from. Oh, I read that one. Thinking about doing some knife scales and tooled leather. Ooh. I always wondered, this is crazy that you're saying that. I always wondered why there isn't leather micarta. We have paper micarta, we have every different kind of micarta you can imagine, right? Especially out of every fabric. Why don't we have leather micarta? And now somebody out there is making it because I just said it out loud, but I should have invented it. Uh Hawaii Knife and Gear, he did coconut micarta, which I thought was fascinating. Yep, carbide. Yeah, carbide for wood and yeah, the diamond blades though, like you see how expensive they get. They get expensive as shit, and that's crazy. Like it's kind of like for high carbide steels, they put carbides in them. Think about that. They put diamonds in those. Can you imagine if we had knife steel with diamonds in it instead of carbides? That would be badass. Another invention. Another fucking invention. It'd be impossible to sharpen though, because you can't even sharpen it with diamonds. That's why they don't do it. How the fuck do you sharpen it? You sharpen because you don't want to sharpen diamonds with diamonds. Hey, Kirk with another 2 bones. Honing with ceramic and stropping with bare leather. Yeah, you can do it. I would still use an abrasive. Abrasives are cheap. You can even make abrasives, but you can go to a hardware store and get a nice big old block of abrasives very cheap. Like I said, you can make them. You can even use like certain things like say newspaper. It has like aluminum oxide in the ink or something like that. So like that's somewhat of an abrasive. You can use cardboard. Cardboard is made with a little bit of an abrasive in there, not much, but a little bit, the mud or whatever that they use to make it with. So there's different things you can do to improvise. But some people take the slop from their stones, or even some people take their silicon carbides from flattening their stones and they make stropping compound with it. So there's lots of ways to make it, but you can just buy it, man. There's like $5. You can get the white and the green from Amazon for literally like $5 to your door. That guy that make the Mexican blanket micarta was talking about leather micarta on the Knife Junkie podcast. He said they were having issues. Oh, okay. Well, they just need to try harder then, right? They just need to try harder. I'm guessing they didn't put enough effort into it. I'm obviously joking, but there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to do it. I would imagine there's got to be a way. Maybe their fibers were too thick, maybe not thick enough. I don't know, but there's got to be a way. I would imagine. My grinder goes everywhere. It would be it would be raw like a belt or saddle. Well, no, I knew what you were saying. I felt what you were saying. But that's why it made me think of the micarta. But yeah, like I think that would be badass. Like it's even the K bars with the wrapped leather. That was always very comfortable. But yeah, if you could do like inlays even like this, ooh, can you imagine how that'd feel in your hand? That'd be so comfortable. Because you could seal it in a way to where it's a little bit more impervious. Is that the word? Whatever. To where it's a little bit more wear resistant. What's the advantage to leather versus denim out flannel micarta? What's the advantage to leather versus denim? Leather. You mean for stropping? Or are you talking about for micarta? For stropping, I would just imagine just the fibers probably hold the abrasive at the surface a little bit better than denim. Denim's and also leather is a natural material, Not saying denim, doesn't have natural materials in it, but I've heard denim's really good as well. So I'm not saying anything's wrong with denim. But I've had a lot better success with leather than denim, but I could be doing it wrong. Hey, Chris. Thank you, man. Jared, can you recommend a good case to transport the TS Prof? Thank you, Cue Ball. I do appreciate the 5 bones. A good case. Well, I would say this. Check out this company. This was very affordable, and this is big. You guys can see I started cutting out the stuff already. I haven't fully done it yet, but I started cutting out the insert. I gotta finish it, but something smaller than this, obviously, right? Something smaller than this, but they make different sizes. So when I bought this, I had the choice between this size, one size a tiny bit bigger, and then another one, or like 3 other ones that were smaller. So they went from like this big to this big to this big. Just get the size that you need. It would fit perfectly in something like this. I don't remember if the height, most of them were 7 inches, around 7 inches, something like that, give or take. So I would check those out. Also, you know what else would work good? I have it in here. Oh, I do. Here, check this out. There's different sizes of these. This is for cameras, but these are really good. They're cheap too. This thing was like, I don't remember. It was so cheap. Really cheap. Like $10 or something. But there's different sizes, You can get something like this. That'd work perfect. And like I said, this is just one size. They have all different sizes because depending on how many lenses you have, I wanted the smallest one I could find. And this was because I only wanted to carry my camera. I only have one lens. So I didn't need a big one with multiple spots and multiple lenses and shit like that. Something like this would work great. So check one of those out too. Check out camera pouches. That would seriously, I could probably fit my TS Prof in there, to be honest. I probably could. And it's like, $10-15. Could they shred the leather and mix with resin similar to shredded carbon? Well, that's what they do with Micarta already. They take fibers from cloth, and they just take layers of cloth and they put a layer, put some resin, layer, resin, layer, resin, layer, resin. Then they press it down and they just wait till the resin dries, take it off, sand it down. And that's Micarta. So they could do the same thing, but I guess they're having issues with it somehow, some way. I don't know why. Kirk with the 2 bones. Green versus white versus diamond compound and others. I recommend the Gunny Juice, but it's very expensive, at least a lot more expensive than the green versus white. If it's between green versus white, I recommend the white. White is a little bit more abrasive than the green. Green's a little bit finer. Both work great. I recommend now you can, if you don't have much money, go with whatever you can get, but you get what you pay for, right? Spend a couple more dollars and get some decent stuff because there's really cheap stuff on Amazon for like $5. It works, but it's crap. You have to keep applying it over and over and over. And if you just get good quality stuff, it'll last twice, if not 3 times as long. You'll have to keep applying it, but it's better quality. But the white compound is normally 6 micron and the green is usually 3 micron. So it's usually double as abrasive. So when you're doing edge maintenance, 6 micron is great. Even 9 micron is great. But it's in a range where if you have a polished edge, think about 5 micron would be similar to like 4,000 grit or something like that. Something like that. 3/2 micron is around 5,000 grit. So it's very fine. But white is what I would say. And if it was between diamond compound, diamonds always, especially if you're talking about high carbide steels. Now, you don't need diamonds for stropping. You don't need it. But it can help a little bit, especially if the diamonds are very, very, very fine. So like I said, that's why I recommend gunny juice so much. So, but if you are going to get the crayon like stuff, get the white. It's probably because the resin doesn't impregnate through the leather. Well, it's too dense. Yeah, I was thinking that actually too. Because leather is a lot more water resistant. It's skin. So, but that's why I was kind of thinking, like, what if they just chewed it up into like literally like just threading, basically. So you take leather and you literally grind it into nothing, like just like and almost into dust, grind it into dust, then put the resin in there, then smash it. Maybe not. I don't know. And I could see there being problems though because of that though. 3 and 1 micron gunny juice on basswood works great for me for edge maintenance. Yeah, I like the I use everything, but yeah, I usually use for gunny juice. I usually use 1 micron, quarter micron for my really polished edges. But yeah, 1 micron still good for polished edges. And then I have the 6 micron. I have the 6, the 1, and the quarter for gunny juice, and I love them all. Doesn't matter. All of them are good. But yeah, I would recommend 3 or 1 too. I agree. 14C versus 154 CM. Both of them are great. I prefer the 14C. 154 CM on average holds a little bit better edge. On average, not always. Depends on the company, depends on the heat treat, depends on, how hard they're running it. 14C is tougher. But both of them are great steels. They're both in the same caliper. The reason why I prefer 14C is because it takes a finer edge better. It's incredibly easy to sharpen and takes a ridiculously sharp edge. 154 CM does too. I just don't prefer it at high grits. And it's not saying you can't do a polished edge with it. It's not saying that. You absolutely can. It's just it doesn't have as much bite as like a steel like 14C. And then if you do get it to have that bite, it usually, after you start using it, it usually gets slick pretty quick. So I just usually keep it around 600 to 1,000 grit. And then it has, because 154 CM at 600 grit, if you have the right angle, it is fucking scary sharp. Like the amount of bite it has is incredible. So and that's why I like it at that grit, because like, would I rather have it there or raise the grit to a more polished edge and have less bite than what I would at 600 grit, right? With 14C, you can have as much bite at 5,000 grit as you do at 600 grit. Like it really holds on to the bite as long as the angle's good. So that's why, and I'm not saying you have to have a polished edge. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the reason why I prefer the 14C is because it's a little more versatile with sharpening. It's very, very responsive to strops too. That's another thing. So is 154. 154 is very easy to sharpen, and it sharpens up really good, takes a nasty sharp edge, really good steel. Love it. I mean, it's very close to 14C with most things. The one thing that's the big difference is what I said. So, K Mason with the 10 bones. Thank you, man. Kirk can't be the only one. Thank you, Mason. I think that was our biggest donation tonight, I think, so far. Thank you, man. You're awesome, Mason. I appreciate it so much. And I see you all, around the community all the time, helping out in the comments and shit like that, man. I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. What do you recommend for someone first sharpening knives that last as long as you do, start with stones or have a little prop one like the Worksharp Pro sharpener, but I feel it's not doing its justice. So when first sharpening knives that last as long as you do, start with stones. So I always recommend to learn how to freehand, right? Because you're going to get a lot of benefits out of it. If you can learn how to freehand, it'll last forever, that knowledge. You'll be able to do it forever. Now, that's not being said, don't have a fixed angle system too. You can do both. Now, I do agree though, if you just have freehand, you're going to be a lot more patient and you're going to work at it a lot harder than if you have a fixed angle system. If you're just not going to do freehand, then get a system. Get a system and get a KME. Get a KME, $200. You can get a fantastic system for $200 with stones. But you know, if you're going to go with a budget sharpener, like you said, you know, the Worksharp, it's great, but you're going to buy upgraded parts. That's the only way to make it really good. It works. If you're only sharpening a knife a month, then yeah, it's fine. But if you're planning on sharpening a few knives a month, you want a little bit better system. Now, you can take the Worksharp and you could buy the stone holder. Get a stone holder and you can buy the better stones, and it'll make your sharpening go far, like 3 times as fast, if not faster, because you could get the beast, the 50 grit beast, and you can sharpen a knife and like that because it's going to cut so fast. And then you can get the TS Prof stone, or sorry, the Veneve stones, TS Prof, the Veneve diamond resin bonded diamond stones. So it has a lot of potential if you want to buy extra parts. But if you just want a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, one and done thing, get a KME. That's what I would recommend, because it's going to be $200, but you know, you're not going to be worried about getting more parts and this and that. You can just literally just get the system. It'll come with the stones. You'll be set to go. Thank you again for the donation, Mason. I appreciate it, man. I'm not doing anything right now. I don't have a place to do the work right now. I'm going to move towards the end of the year. I need some mountains in my life. There you go. Nice. Can you do a 5,000 grit and then 600 grit micro bevel? Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. You can do it just about anything. There's a lot of things. I played around with so much shit. Like, you can do so much. Like, you don't even have to do the same angle on both sides if you don't want to. You don't have to do the same grit on both sides if you don't want to. There's so much shit you can do. You can't, and different steels respond differently to different types of edges. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that. You can have a very fine edge. Now, I would say I don't know how much. So what I did, let me just say what I did, right? Because I have experience with it. So what I used to do is I used to polish the edge. And then what I would do is then I would lay over the surface a quick layer of 600 grit. So I'd go 5,000 grit, super polished, as polished as I could. And then I would go back over the edge with a 600 grit, but I would not, I repeat, I would not go that long. Like, I would just put it over the surface, like just go a few times back and forth over the surface just to get a decent scratch pattern. So if you zoomed in with like a jeweler's loop or a magnifying glass or whatever, you could still see the polish in between the scratch pattern. I would not cover the whole polish. Actually, even the top of the bevel would still be polished. So it would just basically put in like teeth at the apex. But I don't know how much it would benefit to have a polished edge and then do a micro bevel at 600 grit, because where's the benefit of the polish? You know what I mean? Is the shoulder, maybe the way it passes through, maybe it's more polished and the bite from the micro bevel helps bite into things, and then the polished surface helps it slip through. Maybe, I don't know. You'd have to try that, but you could absolutely do it. And there wouldn't be nothing wrong with doing it. I just don't know if there would be any benefits from the polish. There might be though, I never tried that exact thing. If I ever did a micro bevel, I usually did it the same grit. But I did do the thing I just said with a lot of great results. Like I was doing a lot of it too. Like I even had requests for it because it was incredible how much bite those edges came up with the polished surface and then 600 grit over the face of it. Whew. Theo, we got another 10 bones. Thank you, man. Thank you as always for the advice and the entertainment, man. Thank you for the donation, Theo. I appreciate it. Thank you guys, man. You guys are awesome. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And yeah, you guys are incredible. Hey, Jared, what's up, brother? What's up, man? Slayer, Matt, what's up to you, Matt? So what time is it? I don't even know. I don't even have this thing opened up right now. Oh shit, we are way past story time. Nobody even said anything. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. All right, so we do have a quick story for tonight. Let's get into it. So this is just a quick story about time I was a little bit of a bad guy. Not too bad though. But so I don't remember what I was doing, but I got a phone call from a family member saying that one of my cousins, so something happened to one of my cousins from some of his friends. I had heard something about like he got kicked out of his car, so like kicked out of the car by some friends, and they kind of bullied him, right? So I'd he had a bunch of friends, so he had a lot of people around him, and they had supposedly been driving and like kicked him out of the car or something, right? So I got a phone call saying that they were fucking with him and his own friends, like that they kind of bullied him or whatever. And I was called to go handle it. What's up, baby? Did I? Okay, I'll get to it. You're watching? Don't be watching me from over there. I don't like that. I don't like that. I know, I see that. I got Theo. Did I miss a super chat, guys? Oh, shit. I missed the biggest one of the night. Kirk, 20 bounce. Thank you, man. Just to one up the K Mason. Man, thank you so much. And hey, that means I appreciate every donation, especially the 20 bones. No, I'm just kidding. I do appreciate all the donations. I'm just joking, guys. Thank you, Kirk, man. That's awesome, man. Thank you for the 20 bones. I can't believe I missed it. I don't know how I missed it. Sometimes when I go to scroll, it'll try to just catch me up and it'll just like glitch over everything. So it must have pulled one of those moves. As you guys know, I would never want to miss a Tony. Scotty with the 5 pounds. Hey, Jared. MC broke the tip on his Rockstead. He might need your help. I know. I got to go see that video. I'm surprised he broke the tip, man. The geometry of those things are not made to break. They're made to be stabbed into shit. So it doesn't make any sense. But he must have had a bad heat treat on his. That's all I can think of. His heat treat must be a total shit job on his. Because mine's great. I stab it into shit all the time. So that's all I'm saying. I'm just joking. No, I mean, it's an incredibly hard heat treat. 66, 67 HRC is not made to be hard used, but when you have thick geometry like that and a convex grind, it's supposed to increase the toughness. So theoretically, that is a very tough knife for the HRC. You're making up for the hardness in the HRC and the fragileness, if that's a word, fragileness. You're making up for the fragileness by thickening up the geometry and convexing. Just like if I do a V grind on an edge, right? A V grind, that's going to be more fragile than a convex grind. So a convex grind is going to be tougher than a V grind. Same thing like between a flat grind and a convex. And Rocksteads are convex. Anyways, back to the story. Knife Sergeant. Shout out to Knife Sergeant. Go and follow his channel. Told you guys about my new Spyderco coming. I appreciate it, Sergeant. Salute to Knife Sergeant. Heat treatment on mine is good, although it's about to be someone else's. 3K. Just saying. Nice, man. Hey, good for you. Get what you can, man. You got to get it while you can. Damn it, Kara. Anyways, back to the story. I can't afford half of what you review. That's why I want you. Well, I don't know about that though. I do review a lot of budget knives, a lot of budget knives just for you. So I'm just saying. I do review a lot of budget knives just for you. So anyway, so I got this phone call. Back to the story. So my cousin had been like picked on or something by his friends, his boys. He did have a big crew of people around him. He was always with his homies and shit like that. And but he's family, so we all look out for each other, and they know that. Anyway, so I got a phone call saying that that all I heard was like that he was like bullied, something like that, kicked out of the car that they were in, and made to walk, right? Wherever they were, kicked out on the road and made to walk. And I was called to handle it, go take care of it, right? So I showed up over at the location and beat on the door or whatever, knocked on the door. First dude to open the door, I slapped him in the mouth. Like I said, I'm the bad guy in the story. I slapped him in the mouth and told him to get his brother, which I knew was his older brother, and the more dominant one of the group. And he came to the door. I started talking shit to him. I'm pretty sure I slapped him too. And started talking shit to him. And then his little brother, I remember, comes out the door and like tries to calm me down or something, because I'm just talking shit to them, like why'd they do this to my cousin, why'd they kick him out of the car, why'd they make him walk, because they should have had his back. They should have had his back. It didn't matter, like if something was going wrong, or whatever, drop him off, don't kick him out of the car and make him walk. So I'm cussing at him, talking shit, and the one, because I think there was 3 or 4 brothers. One comes out and like grabs me and it's like calm down, and it pissed me off that he grabbed me. Like he didn't grab me, but he grabbed me, and so I just basically told him like don't fucking touch me, because I didn't want to have to slap him too. So, but I didn't touch him for that. I just told him not to do that, and he stopped. He backed up, but I was like ready to go into their house and like just start fucking knocking heads. And I didn't though. Luckily I didn't. I just slapped a couple of them around a little bit, a couple slaps here and there. I think I slapped the one dude a couple times while I was talking, while I was yelling at him, and the other dude. But the reason why I'm the bad guy is because I found out that it was my cousin's fault. My cousin didn't even get kicked out of the car. The whole time while I'm yelling at these dudes, talking shit, slapping them, they're trying to tell me he jumped out of the car. We didn't kick him out of the car at all. He jumped out. And I'm not listening to it, right? I'm not listening at all because I'm seeing red. I'm mad, and and I'm slapping these kids while they're telling me my cousin jumped out of the car. Well, after a minute, I start kind of listening a little bit because, I'm, a little bit more calmed down after I got some slappings out. And it didn't make sense to me though. It did not make sense. Like, why would I get called to come here if he jumped out of the car? Like I wouldn't be here right now, right? Well, I wind up going back to my cousin and asking him. And then he tells me the truth. Well, not the truth, but like says like, well, yeah, I jumped out because of da 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 da. And it's like, well, that changes everything, you fuck. I just went over here and slapped these kids because I thought they kicked you out of the car and made you walk. It's like, I didn't slap them around for you guys getting into an argument. Like, but so I felt like a piece of shit afterwards though. Not really, but I mean, I was definitely I wasn't in the right for sure. But I guess what happened was they got into an argument, and my little cousin's a hothead, and obviously, runs in the family. It was a hothead, and they got into an argument. And he just jumped out of the car like while they were still moving and started walking. So he didn't never get kicked out of the car. They never asked him to get out. And yeah, it was just a piece of shit moment on my end, I guess. But I got wrong information. So, you know. Oh, Spanky with the 10 bones. Meathead Jared goes. Yeah, but I from the person I got a call from, they were given wrong information too, right? Obviously, they wouldn't have asked me to go over there otherwise. So, you know, it just is what it is. When you get called by certain people, to go handle something, you do. And they wouldn't have never asked me to do that otherwise. They would have never ever asked me to go and handle something if they were given better information. But yeah, family always comes first, for sure. Family always comes first. I told this story before, but I'll tell it again really quick. Because it's kind of similar in a way, but a little different. A lot different, actually. So this one's just funny because I got called by a family member, and was told that, and this is like, I'm like really young now, like I'm not an adult or anything like that. I'm really young. So I I got called saying to come over to the house or whatever, talk to somebody. And I went over there, and they told me that my little cousin was getting picked on the bus. And I'm like, okay. And they were like, we want you to handle it. And I'm like, all right, And so they told me, your little cousin's getting picked on the bus. Could you come over here at this time? When he's getting off the bus and take care of it, right? So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So the day comes, I show up and I go down by the bus stop, and I'm sitting down there, but I'm like kind of in the corner, so that like, because I'm expecting when he gets off the bus, he's going to have a couple bullies behind him, ready to beat him up. And and I don't want them to not act the way they act if they see me. So I'm there, but I'm like kind of off to the side where they're not going to see me until like it's a little too late. Spanky! Family first, always, absolutely, always. Thank you again for the donation. So I'm sitting there off to the side, and here comes the bus. The bus pulls up, and my cousin walks off, and out behind him comes the bullies. It's 3 girls. Oh man, I felt so bad. Like, oh fuck, I gotta go fight some girls, right? And I'm obviously not gonna touch the girls, right? But I didn't know this information. Like, this would have been good information to know. We could have got a different cousin, right? It didn't have to be me. So it's 3 girls, and I'm like, I still have to do something, right? I still have to handle a situation. So, and as they're getting off the bus, they're actually bullying him, getting off the bus. Like, they're actually doing it just right there, getting off the bus, bullying him right there. So I instantly just start talking shit. I can't touch him. I'm not going to touch him, but I'm like, just raising my voice, cussing, talking shit, whatever. And I start bullying them basically without touching them. But I tell them to throw their backpacks on the ground. So I tell them to throw their backpacks on the ground. I grab their backpacks and I whip them up into a tree. And they get stuck too. So now their backpacks are up in trees. And that was the way I paid them back. I just, basically told them, like not to do it again, whatever. I don't know what I said. I just talked shit and threw their backpacks up in trees. So now their dads or whoever's going to have to come and do something about their backpacks, because I'm not going up there to get them. But, and I know they're not gonna, because it's like way up in a tree. But I couldn't help but think though, like, why didn't you have a different cousin come do this? Just so you guys know though, that how can I say this without it being too controversial? That cousin plays for the other team, right? Let's just say it like that. But yeah, and it it is what it is. He's not a fighter or anything like that, so it is what it is. But I but it was hilarious though when I seen those girls get off because I was so confused because I didn't think the bullies showed up when they first got off, but then I seen them bullying them, so it was like, oh shit, it's girls. Like, oh man, how do we handle this? And, gender-based aggression at its finest. Yeah. Um, is Wayne Brady going to have to slap a bitch? Damn those mean girls. Yeah, and I felt it's weird because I've never like felt bad, like in like that type of situation, but I actually felt bad because they were girls, like and because I had to be aggressive to girls, and I've always been so protective over girls. But at this point, like, I'm defending my cousin. So, my cousin comes first, but it was like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want to pick on girls. I don't want to scare a little girl, you know. Fox 507 with the 5 bones. Great live. Good night, everyone. You know how it goes. Work in the morning. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here too. Man, I got to get up so fucking early. Thank you for the donation, Fox. I'm going to get out of here too because I know it's a little early, but man, I got so much shit to do this week, guys. It's going to be crazy. I appreciate all the donations. I appreciate everybody always hanging out with me and just being awesome and watching my videos, hitting the like button, leaving me comments. And I do appreciate all the patron members. We do have a Patreon giveaway and video coming soon. We're not doing the Bang Gang live this Sunday, but I will make it up to you guys. I promise, no matter what. Thank you guys for all the support. I love you guys. Peace.